Yo, what is up? I thought I'd just record this video. It's like my fourth day here in Medellin, Colombia. I just wrapped up the end of my work day, and yeah, I thought I'd just pick up the phone and hit record and talk to you guys about some things. I don't really have a plan for this video. I want to keep it quite raw, unfiltered, but the main thing that I wanted to talk about was almost a message to my younger self who hadn't closed a client yet. This was around 2 years ago when I first closed my first client. And to anyone who hasn't done that, to anyone who hasn't closed their first client in this space, maybe you've been in the space for a while, maybe you've been watching some YouTube videos, maybe you have an idea about appointment setting, about sales, about providing a service, just a general idea about what you want to do in this space, but you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're not working on the right things, maybe you're not working hard enough, maybe you are working hard enough on the right things, and it's just a matter of time. But I want to sort of say, like, for me, I couldn't even imagine the shift that I would make after I first got my first client. And I got my first client pretty quickly, but I wasn't really ready for the way I would carry myself differently after I first hit this stage of progress. Because once I closed this first client, I literally remember sitting in my old job. I was working part-time at a company called Magnet Trade. Hopefully I don't give out any sensitive info by saying that. But I was working at a company called Magnet Trade, and I literally remember, I think I had the sales call for this client last night. I didn't ask for payment on the call. I said, no, it's okay, pay it in your own time, don't do that. He paid me. I remember I logged into my email on the work computer when I was in the office, basically next to the warehouse that I worked at. And I checked Gmail and I just saw $250 paid to your Stripe account. And to me, that might as well have said like $100,000, because all I saw in that stage of working, and all that registered in my brain at the time was, it's actually possible and you can actually do it. So it really wasn't a case of like, I didn't even care how much money it was. Even if it said $1, I'd be like, I would still be in shock. I would still be actually amazed that this is possible. But I just almost wanted to make this video as just a bit of encouragement for people that haven't signed a client and haven't generated money online, but maybe you're looking into the space, you want to do it specifically in the internet marketing space. But just know, like, once you do see proof of concept, and this is just proof of concept in the form of seeing that it's actually possible to make money, you will carry yourself differently. And from that point onwards, trust me, it is so much easier to build momentum. I was actually with a friend yesterday and we were talking about work, and we were talking about the idea of work. And ever since you're a kid, you're already conditioned to see work in a negative light. People have all these negative connotations around work. If you speak to the average person and tell them you're going to work on a Saturday or a Sunday, they call you a workaholic. They call you crazy because you can't possibly enjoy what you do. You can't possibly see work in a positive light and actually derive meaning and enjoyment from it in terms of the average person's view. Work has a lot of negative connotations around it, and one of the main reasons that I believe it does is because people aren't used to seeing progress from the work they put in, because either they aren't working on the right things, they aren't doing it correctly, and coming under they're not working on the right things. Usually they're just working for someone else's dream. Usually they're just working for somebody else's mission. They're part of a cog in a system and they don't really know where they're going. They don't have a plan, and they end up just being a boat pushed around by the wind and ending up in the middle of a country that they didn't want to end up on anyway, because they don't actually have a plan. They don't have a process to set the sail and arrive at a particular destination. So I closed my first client. I carried myself completely differently. And because of the way I carried myself differently, I picked up momentum. I could sign the next one after that, and the next one after that also, purely because I saw that proof of concept. And I was able to trust myself and the work that I was putting in for a long enough period of time to sign that first client. If I hadn't had the ability to delay gratification for that period of time before signing that first client and establishing that proof of concept, I wouldn't be where I was today. I wouldn't be where I am today, because it was all about the momentum. And I really don't hear this being talked about enough, because honestly, you can work as hard as you want and get no results. But the people that put the work in, and even if they're not working hard and they sign a client, like, you can't account for how much how much drive that proof of concept initially, no matter how small it is going to give you in terms of signing that next client and hitting that next stage of progress and that next stage after that. I don't know if I've done the greatest job of articulating that properly, but the main thing that I wanted to basically put across in this video was keep faith in yourself, work on the right things, outreach, sales, service delivery. If it's not service, if you haven't got cash in the bank, then you're not going to be working on service delivery. So it's outreach and sales calls, that's all it is. Offer, niche, whatever, but you're doing that, you're setting the foundations to do that anyway. So it's purely going to be outreach and sales at this period of time. You don't need a crazy offer to make money. You don't need to reinvent the wheel at all. You purely just need to do the work, get that first proof of concept, accelerate yourself with that momentum, and then use that momentum to get to your main goal of where you want to be, and so forth and so forth. So that's all that I wanted to talk about. Is mainly just a message, almost like a conversation with my previous self, of really reflecting on how I was thinking and how I just started to carry myself differently after closing that first client. So yeah, I'm now luckily at a stage where 2 years from now, I've grown to individual 6-figure lead gen agencies making well over 10K a month. And I've recently just launched a 2-to-1 mentorship with my business partner, showing you exactly how you can start and scale a lead generation agency and add 20 to 40K a month in new monthly revenue in 6 months. So that's everything that I've got for this video. If that does sound interesting at all, there's a link below to see my Instagram, where you can message me directly, or you can book a call through the Calendly link. I'll also link my business partner's Instagram and his YouTube channel in the description as well. You can check out anything that he has to say. But yeah, thank you for your time. And if you've had any value from this video, let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas in terms of videos that you want me to make in the future, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you soon.